We are back on Get Up, and one of the big questions in the NBA is where Giannis will be next season on the heels of another frustrating year in Milwaukee. Yesterday on NBA Today, Shams had these comments about how Miami is going to be a team very much in the mix.
The Heat, Pat Riley, it's clear around the NBA when I talk to rival executives, Pat Riley wants his whale, his shark, his tiger, whatever animal you want to use to describe it. At the deadline, they made offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. They offered Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, a bunch of draft capital. From my understanding, the Bucks didn't obviously move Giannis, and so they'll be back in the Giannis hunt.
This, of course, before the Heat lost last night, so their season is officially over. Shump, if I say Giannis to the Heat, what's your reaction?
I like it. I definitely like it. I think the Heat play a style of basketball that Giannis could fit in. They don't need him to settle for threes and shoot a bunch of threes, and that's the only knock on Giannis. I think they get up and down, they defend, they play for 48 minutes. It's a good group for him to be around.
Vinny, I've got people telling me, why would he go if his goal is to win? Doesn't feel a lot closer in Miami. Now, they're better than Milwaukee, but doesn't feel like that's a title waiting to happen. What's your reaction?
You'd be trusting the infrastructure of the Miami Heat to surround you with shooting. If you put him and Bam Adebayo together, that means you need three shooters around. The thing about the Heat is they have 3 tradable first-round picks, including this season. Not everybody has their own draft capital. That's an attractive thing. But if you're Milwaukee, you're going to be expecting young players plus draft capital this season, unless he says specifically, I want to go to Miami, that handcuffs you.
So far, Giannis, and we talked about this the other day, has been hesitant to be the bad guy in all of this. And dictating where he wants to go would certainly be being the bad guy. So let's just play fantasy basketball. Let's put him wherever we want. Give me a place that Giannis could land that, in your opinion, they win the title next year.
Well, fantasy basketball. Look,
You win the title next year?
Win the title next year. Where could Giannis go that all of a sudden now we're going to win the championship? Where are we going?
Well, besides Oklahoma City or someplace like that. But Minnesota, to me, and Minnesota does not have the draft capital. They can only trade 28. This year's pick, the 28th, and 2033. They don't have the draft capital. But if you put him with Anthony Edwards, that's the profile of the type of player who is a ball-dominant ball player, who can play both ends, and you're not asking Giannis to create everything on offense. You're just telling Giannis, be a secondary scorer, a secondary primary scorer, be a facilitator, and be hellacious on defense, as opposed to putting him in a similar situation like he is already in Milwaukee, where he has to do everything.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yesterday you gave me Golden State. You said he and Steph similar. Obviously, Steph and Edwards are not similar players, but the rationale behind that, I think, would be relatively similar as far as what would be required of Giannis. What do you think?
If we're talking about a championship, it's like he said, go over there to OKC.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Could you see that? That would be.
You don't want to be the bad guy, but K did it.
Yeah. Would that be like KD going to Golden State?
Yeah.
KD was able to go to Golden State as a free agent in a weird moment where the salary cap expanded. It was like a very rare perfect storm of circumstances. This wouldn't be that. OKC would have to make a trade in order to get him, right?
Yeah.
Right. Look.
I just meant joining on to a team that don't really need him.
Right, and then there's exactly.
That's what I meant.
Like
they can win without him, but if he goes, it's the same.
Okay, let's talk about a team that can't win without him. The New York Knicks. Right? I don't think they're winning the championship this year. And depending on what happens in the playoffs, there could be a heightened sense of urgency to go get him. I just don't know if there's a realistic path right now.
If they get knocked out in the second round by Boston, the Knicks fans are going to be clamoring for Giannis.
Without a doubt.
Would you like it? Would you think that would be?
If they a second round exit?
If they get knocked out by Boston in the second round.
Then I'm part of it. You can go get him. Like, it's on a red alert, you can go get him, because y'all shouldn't be bouncing out in the second round.
Yeah, I think the noise is going to get a lot louder.
Yeah.
We do know these two sides entered into an exclusive negotiating period that we didn't find out about until much later.
Right.
That's how quiet it was. So it's clear that if there's one place he wants to go, it would be the New York Knicks.
Okay, we'll see. The Knicks will begin their playoffs on Saturday against Atlanta. We'll see how long it takes for that one to come to an end. In the meantime, coming up now, I can tell you that what happens
on SportsCenter, it is win or go home. That's what's on the line tomorrow in the NBA play-in tournament to earn a spot in the playoffs. In the East, you got the Magic taking on the Sixers. In the West, it is Golden State hoping to knock off the Clippers. Joining us now is our NBA senior writer, Anthony Slater. And, Anthony, one of the biggest storylines in that Warriors-Clippers game is not if Steph is going to play, but how much will he play with that persistent right knee issue?
Yeah, he's played, in the high 20s in his 4 games back. He missed 27 games with the persistent issue you're talking about. They say they're going to get him over 30. How far over 30 is kind of an internal tug of war a little bit. Steph wants to inch it as close as possible to 34 or 35. They say they won't let him get anywhere near 40. And there's 3 reasons for that. Number 1, he just turned 38 years old. Number 2, he's coming off an injury that's an overuse injury. They call it runner's knee. It's about, as much as he's run over his career. And then number 3, if they're being really honest with themselves, how far is this team really going to go?
Right.
They have to win 2 do-or-die games this weekend to face the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder, Sunday in Game 1 without their starting win because Jimmy Butler and Moses Moody are already out for the year.
Yeah, and then he also kind of tweaked that ankle as well in that last game. So Warriors, they've got to slow down Kawhi Leonard, who, by the way, all of a sudden looks like his old self, averaging 27.9 points per game. What's Golden State's game plan for the Claw?
It's interesting. Historically, their defensive game plan is Draymond Green plays free safety and messes up the offense away from the primary matchup. But this team's roster, while it hasn't played together much, is built differently. They have Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis behind the play, and they can actually use Draymond Green as the primary matchup on Kawhi. They rewatched the game from early March where Draymond guarded Kawhi. They like what they saw, so I actually expect Draymond Green, an all-time NBA defender, going against Kawhi Leonard, an all-time scorer.
Man, in case you're wondering, Golden State was just 1-3 against the Clippers during the regular season. We'll see what happens in the play. Anthony Slater, thank you.